Welcome back. This is Dr. Jin Sung, where clinical excellence meets excellent results. Today we're going to talk about the 7 common culprits that destroys your energy. So let's get right into it. Number 1, lack of exercise or activity. Every cell in our body needs oxygen, right? In order to get proper oxygenation, you need to move and exercise. The oxygen needs to get to the peripheries, your hands, your brain, your feet. So circulation is very important. So exercise is crucial. It also releases hormones, things like endorphins and enkephalins, things that make you feel happy and energized. Number 2, not enough sunlight. You need sunlight to produce vitamin D. It also releases neurotransmitters, in particular serotonin. And serotonin has been shown to improve mood, improve depression. So enough sunshine through the eyes and the skin is very important for overall health. Dehydration can also cause fatigue. Oftentimes when children get headaches, they're running around, they're sweating, but they're not drinking enough water. They've actually done studies on college students. When they first go into college, they're staying up late, they're not eating as well, they're running around and sweating, and they're not getting enough hydration. Oftentimes they're drinking coffee for their energy and fuel, and sometimes they're experimenting with alcohol. So when you have coffee and alcohol that are dehydrating, plus not eating well, a lot of college students will get dehydrated. And it's a common cause for headaches and fatigue, right? So alcohol, caffeinated drinks will also create this problem. Also, you need proper mineralization. You can't just drink a lot of water to hydrate. Sometimes you need minerals, right? We'll get into that in a second. Number 4, poor sleep quality and quantity, right? Some people will stay up late just because they want to watch an episode of something. So they stay up late, get up early. Some people have sleep apnea. They can't breathe well, so they're not getting the high quality sleep. They never get into that REM sleep or the healing sleep. Too much screen time, computers and TVs. Really, you should shut it off about 1 to 2 hours before bed. Turn off all your screens. Make sure you're in a room that's dark and quiet so you can sleep. Shift workers, it's problematic. If you're working overnights, so I see a lot of nurses who work 3 days or 3 nights in 12-hour shifts. And the rest of the week, they're trying to recoup from the 3 shift midnight hours. And their body needs to recoup. But then they have to go back and work midnights. So working overnight is very detrimental to overall sleep quality and quantity. Unstable blood sugar. Now, this is very important. A lot of people don't realize your fluctuation in blood sugar can create issues with sleep. For example, hypoglycemia or low blood sugar. So those are the people who get up and they can't get going in the morning. They need to drink a big cup of coffee and they'll have a donut. They feel energized for a couple hours and then they crash and then they have to eat again. So these people who have hypoglycemia will have ups and downs in terms of their energy. And oftentimes they sleep fine or fall asleep fine, but they'll get up at 2 or 3 in the morning when their blood sugar drops, cortisol goes up, and they wake up in the middle of the night. So they're sitting there at 2 in the morning going, I can't sleep. Some people will actually go to the fridge and eat something to go back to sleep. So hypoglycemia is a big problem. Insulin resistance. People who have pre-diabetes, diabetes, oftentimes these are the people who eat and feel very tired. Those are the people who come home after a long day's work, they eat a big meal, they sit on the couch, and they start nodding off, right? They can't stay awake. And then they go to bed and they're like wide awake, they can't fall asleep again. So these people who have fluctuations in their blood sugar can create problems with fatigue and energy. Underlying health issues. Now there are a lot of them, I listed a few here. You have allergies, so histamine reactions and allergies can create problems. Hypothyroid issues, right? GERD or reflux disease. So when you lie down, you feel a little bit of acid in your stomach. You start to cough in the middle of the night, disrupting your sleep. So GERD is a important factor. Stress, obviously, you have to minimize your stress load overall. You can't just keep going and going and going. So stress is a very important factor with cortisol management. Going back to diabetes, insulin resistance create issues with fatigue. Anemia. So people who have anemia could have an underlying health issue causing fatigue. So you always should check for anemia, iron deficiency, megaloblastic anemia, right? Make sure you check for those. Number 7, nutrient deficiencies. Oftentimes we're not eating very well. You're eating the standard American diet, or what we call the SAD diet. High processed foods and sugars and a lot of dairy and gluten and so forth. You can also have malabsorption, right? You don't realize it. You have things like IBS, Crohn's, you have SIBO. So you have malabsorption of nutrients. And nutrients are very important for energy production. So things like potassium, magnesium, even salt, B vitamins or the proper methylated forms of B vitamins, vitamin C are all important for proper nutrients so you don't feel fatigued. Now, for shift workers who work overnight, I highly recommend taking adaptogenic herbs. Adaptogenic herbs are like redalia, panans, ginseng. These will help manage the stress of not being able to sleep on a regular cycle. Or people who fly across the country and go to California and then or they're overseas and they come back and they have to go back to work. Adaptogenic herbs can work out really well for those patients. All right. What I'll do is I'll link some of these products below and give you some recommendations on dosages and so forth. But at the end of the day, you have to figure out what your problem is or what the triggers are for zapping your energy. You have to figure that out, because without the energy and motivation, you get nothing accomplished and life kind of stays on a standstill. All right. So my name is Dr. Jin Sung, where clinical excellence meets excellent results. And we'll see you guys next week on the healthy side. Have an awesome day.